Preparing for shutdown in South Yorkshire and tougher restrictions from Saturday for a further 1.4 million people. This won't be allowed. The only household mixing will be in outdoor public spaces like parks. Pubs and bars, soft play and betting shops will close.
Star Bar, Now Bar, how can I help you today?
A knock-on impact too on businesses that don't have to shut.
All it does is scare people and put people into a panic, and I think it affects businesses, and these businesses aren't getting funding and they're not clear about it. All they're telling you is what is closed. They're not telling you what's open.
The negotiations weren't the nightmare seen in Manchester. Local leaders accepted a government package including £30 million for business support.
Of course, I would have liked more. I fought very hard to get more, but in the end it was a negotiation. I don't think I could have secured any more from government. But that's not to say I won't go back to government in the near future if we don't think that is going to be sufficient for us.
Why is it so chaotic?
But the Prime Minister faced fury over the 10-day debacle, which saw Greater Manchester forced into Tier 3 without agreeing a deal.
I really think the Prime Minister's crossed a Rubicon here, not just with the miserly way that he's treated Greater Manchester, but the grub it, take it or leave it way these local deals are being done. It's corrosive.
I think it is the height of absurdity, Mr. Speaker, that he stands up and attacks the economic consequences of the measures that we're obliged to take across some parts of the country when he wants to turn the lights out with a full national lockdown.
The Manchester Mayor said he was fighting for financial support, not against the restrictions. He'd asked for £90 million, dropped his demand to £65 million and refused to accept 60. The Prime Minister announced today that would be distributed anyway via local councils. The spat's not over.
They're not taking into account local circumstances. There's no clarity about what level of support they believe is appropriate, and we think that the government needs to come forward urgently with a national approach that enables areas to work together, not pit us against one another.
Away from the finances, gyms in Liverpool will reopen to bring it in line with other areas in Tier 3. It won't be the last fight for fairness in this postcode lockdown.
Well, Tessa's in Westminster for us now. Tessa, there's just been a debate on this funding issue in Parliament. What happened?
That's right, Sian. It was a Labour motion calling for the government to publish its criteria for financial support in those areas in high tier measures. Labour lost the vote by 261 to 340. It wasn't going to be binding anyway, but it was symbolic. And interestingly, two Greater Manchester Tory MPs chose to vote with Labour on this. I think what's been highlighted in the last few days is the difficulty of accommodating different local economies with their different complexities and their different vulnerabilities. Greater Manchester, for example, always said they needed more money because they'd been in Tier 2 lockdown effectively since the end of July, and with a number of other regions teetering on the brink of Tier 3 lockdown, this headache is going to continue.
It is. Tessa, thanks very much for that update.